to find your own brand of magic and more. Our cities that never sleep. Our vast and exhilarating magical safaris that are second to none. There's more magic than you could ever imagine. Embrace the magic.
Jambo. Hi, Biko, what's in the happen now? How can you forget basic? Okay, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to change this one. I'm going to teach you our pidgin for Jambo. That way it will work. So when everybody comes to me and says, how far? I know how to answer, Abi. So when you meet a Kenyan, when you meet your cousins, when you come home, what do you say? Niaje. Repeat that. I need to hear that tone. Niaje. Be confident. Niaje. And if anybody comes to you and says Niaje, you say poa. That means everything's cool. Okay. Niaje. Nivo. That's what I mean is that's how it rolls. Somebody's missing here. Where is he? That is part of what I would like to see happening. That when you come, you already can be able to speak. Because as we were told yesterday, we are cousins. Weren't we told we're cousins? I believe we're cousins because I met my cousins. And of course, you know my name is? No, these guys don't know. My name is? But on the other side, they called me Florence Nduta. Okay? Florence? Okay. So Florence Nduta is an actor by profession. And that had started in 2012. But the rest of those many years ahead of that, I have been a banker for 6 years. And the rest of the 23 years, I was doing nothing but hospitality. So you can imagine now where I am now doing film. This has been an amazing journey. And why I feel that I am at home even more is that from October last year, I have been shooting or been part of an amazing Nigerian Ghanaian team and doing something called Desperate Measures. And that is in MNA State. And I think my director is here. Udwak, please stand. This guy is amazing because every single time, the little pidgin that I know is thanks to that man. So copyright, where is my lawyer? Isioma, please, everything that I learn, make sure we copyright, eh? You check first before I cross over. Huh? So yesterday we talked about, you've seen a little clip. I like to move. I don't like to sit. I think we've been sitting for too long, Abi. Okay. So we talked about, we gave you a little snippet about Kenya. And I had the lovely moment this morning earlier to look at the different locations that you have in Nigeria. I saw your elephants. I saw your fountains. I saw your forests. Things that we don't know about our home. And it is your responsibility to make sure that we do. Because that's exactly what we're going to do with you. What I told you, everything that I saw, your beaches, your deserts, your forests, your rainforests, your fountains, everything. In Kenya, everything is there within a 45-minute flight. So your locations are sorted out. Another thing I spoke about yesterday is what you call here as states. In Kenya, we have counties. And our plan for you, as you come to work with us, is to work together with those counties to welcome you on the time that you need to do your recce, to see how we can work for you and make sure that whatever you require is available for you. Like I said, Kenya is ready for business. I'm really going to disturb you because I'm going to be walking, Abi. The government of Kenya is here. And when you have the Kenya Film Classification Board here, you have Kenya here. We are serious. We are ready for business. We are ready to listen. So this session is not going to be just us talking. We've had a lot of talking, right? We need solutions, right? We need to map the way forward. You know what you want. And we know what we have. Now we need to map the way forward. So I'm going to be sharing this together with my colleagues here, your cousins, sorry. And remember, you guys are older than us times. I didn't hear that, times. So we'll still be looking up to you. Great writers, great culture. We need to walk with you. We have the technical team and the expertise. So walk with us. I'm not saying you don't have expertise, but we need to work together. So I'm going to start off with Magaria.
Now, I wanted to say one of the great minds that has influenced this century said that the most powerful person is the person who tells the story, because the storyteller is the person who will set the agenda and the vision for the next generation. And quite frankly, that's us. We are the storytellers. We are the ones who are setting the agenda and the vision for the next generation. What are we telling the next generation? What narrative are they receiving? He who controls the narrative controls the vision. And when I discovered that, I realized we have a very, very big responsibility to pass on to our next generations things that we probably did not get to know ourselves. When we talked about, when we were talking about earlier, about creating content, one of the things that we have, we really appreciate and enjoy from Nigeria is that for the first time, let's say about 20 years ago, when all this came across to us in East Africa, or for the first time, we were seeing ourselves on television and seeing our mannerisms and seeing our color, skin color. We were seeing ourselves and being able to laugh about it. We were identifying with what we were seeing on the screen. And for us, that gave us a regeneration of our identity. It gave us a new feeling that, wow, we mean we can be on television. We mean we can make an impact and people can see us. And all of a sudden, I don't know whether you know this or not, you influenced a rebirth of cultural, traditional, local film industry. That's where Riverwood came from. Riverwood saw what Nollywood was doing and said, you know what? We need to tell our stories. What was happening in Kenya was we were doing our stories, but it was on stage. We're doing a lot of stage plays. A lot of people were doing the vernacular plays and telling narratives on stage. But when we saw what Nollywood was doing, there was the birth of Riverwood. And that now we started seeing those DVD sales all across. So where I'm coming from is this. If we have the opportunity to tell our story, let us tell our story. We are learning from you. You tell your story so proudly, so confidently. We need to be able to tell the stories like that. Now, he's a storyteller, and he can tell you the genesis of storytelling in Kenya, but I will let you know that you sparked something in us, and we want to continue that growing even more. And we want to be able to, as we talked, partnering together, open up our market as you open up your market, as we open up the rest of Africa, so that when a movie is opening in Lagos, it is opening in Kinshasa, in Maputo, in Lilongwe, in Nairobi. It is opening up across the whole continent. So that at the end of the day, we can actually say, like China, we have got 60,000 screens across the whole continent. That's what we'd like to do. We want to break down these barriers of boundaries. What are they called? It's called a border, the borders, and just be able to work together as brothers and sisters. That's what we'd like to do. And it starts with one step. This, I believe, is a step. What I'm happy about, though, is that I can report that I'm already talking to Eze, Chinelove, I'm talking to Buki. I'm talking to Buki, I'm talking to, who else did I talk to? And we're actually going to be, I talked to Moses, and hey, Lord. I talked to the Lord up there. and we're definitely going to be doing stuff across. Already this is happening. It's already starting. And I think Albert is the one who told me he has got a deadline that by Chinelove, we have to do her by... So you talk to the microphone.
Valentine's next year. We think that the picture of success from this is that next year in February, there is a Nigerian film shot in Kenya, showing at the box office here, in Tanzania, in Uganda, in Rwanda, in Zambia.
There you go.
Because we can link you all the way down. That's not an issue. We've got the links to run your content down from Kenya all the way through East and Central Africa. Now, if you will let us in through the door as your cousins, we will open this door both ways. Now, sorry. You might want to know where the opportunities are. And that's actually a really good question. Where are the opportunities right now in Kenya for filmmakers? And there are opportunities everywhere. As you can hear, there's an opportunity in animation, as Juliette will tell you. Animation's growing in Kenya, and it's growing very, very fast. There are cinemas. But it is true, Kenya on its own doesn't have anywhere close to the amount of cinemas that you have in Nigeria. But remember that we can open your corridor through East and Central Africa. When you put together all of our other cousins that we like to play with, you find that we have a very big creche and there's room for everybody. So that's another opportunity. Television is a huge opportunity. Why is television an opportunity for Nollywood? Simple, because you're already on television right now. In Kenya, you're on television every day across 4 major channels. Every day. In Tanzania, on TV. In UG, you're on TV. You're on television already. And this is the sad part. They're playing your old catalog, like really old. So everybody still thinks that Nollywood, films from Nollywood still look like the early 90s. Because that's the content of yours that we're getting. So when we come and we see the billboards and we're like, oh my goodness, those are Nollywood films. That's what they look like now, because we don't see the now of Nollywood. That's an opportunity for you right there. Because the door's already open. We're already watching your content. We already absorb it. I tell you, my parents can literally quote the script from The Wedding Party, word for word, beginning to end, because they watched it, they rewound it to the beginning, and they started all over again. And why is that happening? It's because Netflix has done what we've been unable to do. They've been able to get your latest content and bring it home to us so that we can watch it. Why aren't you guys coming home?
Dennis is my name. I think we need to capitalize on the synergies that exist between these two countries. Because again, as he's saying, whatever that we are seeing back home, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's early 2000s to around 2010, 2011. That's what is on TV. But you guys have evolved, and even the content that we are seeing right here is not back home. And again, you find that stories, or rather audiovisual, have the capacities to shape narratives and the way people perceive, other people. Because from even the content that we are saying is not good. It's us film creators that are creating. And for a very long time, the West has been propagating this picture of poverty, picture of desolation, on Africans. When the Americans want to shoot in Kenya, the only good thing, or the only thing that they can think about is our slum, Kibera, But Kenya is bigger, better, and more beautiful than Kibera, Ask anybody out there to name 2-3 things they'll tell you about Kenya. They'll speak about our wildlife and our athletes, The same case with Nigeria. You watch American productions, the only thing that they show us is Boko Haram and some slums but Nigeria is beautiful. We've been here. I think this is my 3rd time here, and I'm loving it. I enjoy every time that I come. So again, it's us as content creators that shape our narratives, because again, they say the narrative of the lion and the hunter was, yes, exactly. The hunter will always be the one that is glorified because it's the Americans. An interesting thing, I think there's a very big American a production called The Looming Tower. I guess some of us in this room have watched it. It's a documentation of the 1998 bomb blast that we had in Nairobi. You watch that series, you get angry. First as a Kenyan, second as a content creator, because of the narrative that is shaped there of Kenyans. But nobody back home, I think, has thought about that story. So the Americans will come, show you how Kenyans were corrupt, how Kenyans aided the Americans being bombed back home. It's a high time that, again, we tell our stories.
Great. But I was thinking, I don't know, so this is now open. It's an open discussion, like I said, cousins. I mean, we're at home, right? And we've eaten, so now we're just sitting and chilling and discussing. So how do we get your content on our screens, or where do we start? And I was thinking about screenings, or probably a festival. I don't know, where people can start, we have a Kenya-Nigerian Film Festival in Nairobi and back here as well, and let people get to see what you have. I don't know, what do you think about that? Yeah? Because I think it's the right thing to do, because I'll be honest. May I stand? I really feel confined. To be very honest, long time ago, we all used to go to the cinemas. In my age group, I'm 52. And we all used to be taken to the cinema by the guy who was taking you out, all right? Now, ever since we got the Netflix and all this, little gadgets on our phones, all our young kids don't go to the cinema, all right? So we thought, how else do we take cinema to the people? All right? And one initiative we started was through KFCB, was Cinema Mashinani. Is taking film to the people, making people make film about themselves and watching. That was one way. Another way is something we call 2 hours of sunset. Kenyans love life. So what we do is that, at least I remember when we did Brother Jekwo, is that we took a venue, an outdoor venue, and we had Nigerian cuisine, barbecue going on, Kenyan cuisine going on, so people would taste your food and know what your culture is about. And then at about sunset, which is 6:37 for us, we showed the movie. Thereafter, people got to speak to the, Mike and the team and all the actors, and there were a lot of questions. But what kept on coming back was, when is the next one coming? Can we see more of Nigeria? So taking film to the people has been working very well. 2 Hours in Sunset happens every weekend. And that is a very great crowd to deal with. And that goes throughout the country. So that is another way of taking film to the people, because definitely that is something you want. After all, we make these movies, we definitely want people to watch. So that marketing dynamics in Nigeria is very different than Kenya. So we have to be able to strike a balance and see what works for both of us. All right? So those are the discussions that we should be having going forward to see what works. How can we make this happen? My next proposal, and I'm hoping Uncle Dr. Ezekiel, see, I have to be very careful here. I was proposing like a farm trip. Okay? Because it's just like an airline ticket. I am selling you an idea. I'm going to use that example because I worked for the airlines for 17 years. I tell you, okay, I'm going to fly you to Nairobi, and I'm going to give you a nice seat number X, 1A. It's a window seat. You'll get fantastic food. It's a beautiful airline. I'm selling you an idea, and I give you the ticket. But the actual thing that you get to experience is once you get to the airport. Correct? The girl at the check-in guest is still selling you that idea. Is still telling you that it's near. Whatever you were told by Duta earlier is going to happen very shortly. So it is still an idea, right? Until you get on the plane and experience the whole experience of what you have paid for. Now, all we have sold you is an idea and a promise. And you producers here, you have, for me, I would advise you, now this is the banker speaking, you need to invest in your business. You want to go, correct? You want to grow. Exactly. So if we do our part and speak to our people on the ground and say, oh, we have our cousins coming over. We have 20 cousins who are very serious and they're coming over. Can you give us a place to sleep? Can you give us transport? Can you show, and we work with, of course, we'll get the blessings of our uncle, Dr. Ezekiel. He'll also talk to our other uncles. You get? Are we together? Yes. So when we speak to our uncles and we tell them our cousins are coming, can you help us? Then you guys, you organize yourselves, get your air tickets. We will see how to organize how you can get your visas very quickly. Come home. Come home. Then you actually go through an experience and say, this is where I'm going to have us. We can be talking about tech. How will you know everything he's telling you is true? Abi? Huh? You need to know, what am I saving? Do I have to carry all my equipment from here? Or do we have it there? Who am I doing? Who are the local producers at home? Right? We don't want to come in your cont when you come, going online and you meet somebody else. We want you to meet people who are serious like you and who have a vision like you and want to grow like you. All right? Not go and get conned. It happens. Let's just talk the truth. Doesn't it happen? We know quite a number of producers who have been burnt. And we don't want to come here and we are burnt because we know you now. So I know you'll not let us get burnt. So what we do that, we'd like to reciprocate and bring your cousins with our big uncle here. And we do the same thing. So let's have this discussion and tell me, what do you think? I had started this discussion yesterday with some of you, and I was very happy to say I got very positive response from you. But let's discuss it because it's our home. Africa, this is our home. So we don't want anybody else to come and tell us what to do. So I'll leave the floor open to you guys. Any questions, any views? There, please.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ife. I work with Film One. Thank you for coming down here and for giving us more insight into Kenya and how the film industry works. But I think I speak for distributors and producers who are seated here. The major issue is the economics. Yesterday you mentioned about 90 TV stations. And just to clarify, they are free TV stations. FTA. Sorry?
Yes, it's free to air.
So basically, they don't commission films and they don't have enough budget to license films.
It's advertised based.
Advertised based, thank you. But for majority of producers here and distributors who have catalogs, I think free TV or free distribution is at the low bottom of their distribution chain. So they would not willingly bring their premium content to free TV if they don't get the license fee up front. That is a major issue. Are there plans to set up pay TV stations or proper premium VOD platforms that would pay for content? We have distributed films in Kenya or in East Africa. Wedding Party 2. Tanzania, we used Century Cinemax, Mlimani Garden City, and the likes. And a ticket price about 600 to 900 Kenyan shilling, which is roughly the same thing with Nigerian naira when converted. But the problem also is how many people are going to watch these films in cinemas. It's fine for them to watch from the comfort of their homes on free TV, but how much disposable income do they have to shell out and pay for these things? And we need the admissions to get money. And when you take out the 60% VAT and the rentals of the cinemas, what comes back to the distributor or the producers? So for me, I think the issue here is economics. How do we, or what are the plans to solve the issue of the economics, the cinema-going culture, and the appetite of the people, and how they need to spend money? And also the platforms, because we've all talked about how there's life for film after cinemas. Thank you.
Ife, right? Yes. I work in the TV industry, so I kind of know the economies and the mathematics behind them. We have, I think, roughly 15 million households with access to TV. Yes, and you'll find that a majority of these households opt, or rather, again, because of the economies, as you're saying, majority of the people that are watching this is free-to-air TVs. Out of the 5, I think, big stations that we have, 4 are free-to-air. Yes. So you'll find maybe out of the 15 million, just quoting, not accurate figures, you'll find that 8 to 9 million people are on free-to-air TV. So again, that's why you find the mathematics and all these economies. People will tend to associate. Again, the advertising will prefer to have the advertisement on free-to-air because that's where majority of the people are. Our cinema-going culture is not as robust as you guys. That's the truth, you know. But still, there still exists that space, and there still exists even to improve more. So I think we shouldn't really box ourselves in that corner, because you find even the pay-to or the premium pay-to services that you're talking about will tend to commission content. They don't want to buy it from you, so they want to own all their rights. So it's a little bit different when you get again to understand how it works, but there's still room to talk about and figure out our way forward. If I may.
Ife. Growth, my brother, growth. You guys did not start climbing the tree from the top. Now you want to come to Nairobi and jump to the 12th floor. You can't bring in a film in 15 seconds. We've just been talking about marketing here, man. The wedding party too, when it came. My friend, even I didn't know it was there.
Nobody knew.
So, don't do a half-cooked job and then come and tell us that we are the ones who are bad. It is not fair. I'll become Moses. I'll just be here shaking my head the whole time. It's not fair. There is opportunity. There's massive opportunity.
Can I talk about figures?
Can I ask something from the audience?
Yesterday, I will come to you just now. If also, last year was a turning point for Kenyan film. We produced about 12 to 15 top-notch movies. I mean, we're talking about top-notch, not the usual that we used to do. And all of them at the box office got their money back. All of them, including his movie. They all got their money back. So people now have learned, if we do this consistently, people will come and watch. And if we market it, the difference this time was the marketing. Yeah. And the amount of money and of time, amount of resources that were put out to do that was incredible. And we had a lot of support from Kenya Film Classification Board, even KFC, Kenya Film Commission. They did a lot of work, and the media did a lot of work, because we realized if we don't start telling our own stories, I think these guys in Kenya have got it, we need to start telling our stories. Last year was a very good year for all movie makers.
Can I?
Sorry guys, we can't really take much questions anymore, but they're still here. Do you understand? We're still here.
We can have lunch together.
Chiwe, can I say one thing? Can I say one thing?
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ife kind of got a definition wrong. Yeah, at one level, because free to air does not mean the content is free. Yeah, and I think that's what you were basically saying, and that is not the case. Yeah, free to air is about broadcast, standing alone from SVOD and Pew and all those other things. The issue is they've got 15 million TV households. If your TV channels have advertising in all those households, then there's money for the producers here with their content. So I would expect Film One to be engaging and getting to Kenya to sit down with the 5 TV channels. We don't need a festival for that. That's business. So the distributors here who are aggregating content should be talking to the media buyers and the programmers at the Kenyan TV stations. First of all, to clear out all the pirated content from Nigeria that is there. And then secondly, to say, okay, listen, guys, if you can't afford to pay me premium dollar for this, how much can you pay? What's the revenue share on advertising? Simple. I think because the thing of the truth of the matter is our TV market is broken, which is probably why he was saying that. So when you talk free to air in Nigeria, all Nigerians think about is nobody in Nigeria pays for the content.
Yeah.
But that is because we are a unique country. Yeah, no, but I think the issue is that Kenya, some of those stations, I'm sure, commission content. They may not commission at the level that the big producers here think that is their level, but they're at least commissioning, right? And so the key thing for me is to even hear that you have 15 million TV households with data for advertising. It means you have an addressable market. So I don't know why anybody in Lagos would not be trying to get into East Africa from Nairobi.